The day after the new transfer student showed up, my face ended up plastered all over the school's anonymous confession wall, and just like that, my peaceful, low-profile life was over. The post wasn't just a casual mention, it was a full-on gossip bomb. Is this guy dating the top student Emily Carter? Why is he so close to her? How is he so good at pulling this off? And just like that, my photo sitting next to Emily, working through a math problem, was up for everyone to dissect. The comments were chaos. Wait, isn't that James Walker? The quiet guy who always turns down love letters. So that's why. He's gunning for the academic goddess at the top of the food chain. I knew something was off. He's been too cold to everyone. Some anonymous clown even added, guess being the school hunk isn't enough, you still want to be a sugar baby. I had no idea how the photo even got out, but there it was, him and Emily, heads close together, solving a tough equation while everyone else was busy staring at their desks. Honestly, we were just paired for group work, that's it. But logic doesn't survive once the rumor mill starts spinning. I tried to ignore it, acted like nothing happened, until I walked into class and saw the word cheap scrawled across my desk in thick black marker. Not subtle. I scanned the room. Not many people had arrived yet. The only one looking at me with any expression was Ryan Kim, the new guy leaning back in his chair with a smirk that made my skin crawl. He was blowing watermelon bubblegum like this was some high school rom-com, eyes locked on me as he whispered, "Nice desk art. You understand, right? Your seat is mine. Emily is mine, too." My jaw clenched. I hadn't said a word to the guy since he transferred, and now he was acting like we were in some kind of turf war over a girl and a piece of furniture. I stared at him, then back at my desk. I didn't even get a chance to respond before he chuckled like he'd already won. Just before first period started, I suddenly stood up and said loudly, "Ryan Kim, even if you're obsessed with the top student, that doesn't mean you get to harass me or steal my seat." Heads turned. I kept going. "If you want the seat that bad, fine. Take it. Happy now?" Ryan's face flushed red instantly. "What the hell are you talking about? Who said anything about me liking her?" His voice cracked, and I swear even he realized he'd messed up. The class buzzed. "She and I are childhood friends," he blurted out. "You took my seat." Everyone froze. That was new info. Before he arrived, Class 1 had always assigned seats based on our rankings. Period. No exceptions. But on his first day, Ryan had strolled up to the front of the classroom and declared, "I'm Ryan Kim. Emily Carter and I grew up together." Then he looked straight at me. "So technically, that seat should be mine." At the time, Emily had just smiled politely and said, "That's not how this works, Ryan." I remembered answering back with a grin, "Is your name written on this seat?" That shut him up real quick. Since our homeroom teacher, Mrs. Reynolds, was out that day, another teacher, Mr. Thompson, stepped in to ease the tension. "Ryan, just find an empty seat for now. Your homeroom teacher will sort things out later." Ryan narrowed his eyes at me like this wasn't over. "You've got guts," he muttered. From that point on, things only escalated. My classmates were the first to tell me I was trending on the confession wall. "James, go look. You're famous." I pulled out my phone and bam, top post. And the way people were talking. You'd think I just proposed to Emily under the cherry blossoms or something. It didn't matter that all we did was study. The photo angle made it look intimate, and the caption turned it into a drama. Suddenly I was the guy who rejected every girl because he only had eyes for the top student. The comments were split between admiration, jealousy, and flat-out hatred. Someone wrote, "Of course she's not dating. She's focused on exams, not guys." Another said, "Guess he's aiming to be her gigolo." The worst part? Nobody knew the truth, and everyone acted like they did. When I got to class that morning, that damn word cheap was still staring me in the face. No one admitted to it. I didn't make a scene, but Ryan was watching me again, fake innocent like always, smirk tugging at the edge of his lips. He leaned over just enough for me to hear. Your seat. Emily. Mine. Got it? And that's when I snapped. I stood up and called him out in front of everyone. Again. Ryan looked stunned, flushed again, but before he could respond, Mrs. Reynolds finally walked in and spotted the mess. What happened here? She demanded. Who wrote this? Of course, no one said a word. She frowned. There are cameras in this classroom. If neither of you admit it, we'll check the footage. And whoever's responsible will pay for the damages. That got real quiet, real fast. Just when Ryan opened his mouth probably to throw some blame, someone knocked on the office door. It was Emily. She walked in calmly, radiating that top student grace she always had. Teacher, she said softly. I wrote it. The entire office went silent. Mrs. Reynolds blinked. Excuse me. Emily continued, I spilled water on my workbook this morning. The ink transferred to James's desk by accident. Even she didn't sound convinced by that explanation, but she stuck to it. Then she turned to me and said, James, I'm sorry for the trouble. I smiled back, calm on the outside but low-key amazed. She was lying for me. Ryan's eyes were practically bulging out of his head. I shrugged and said, if Emily feels that bad, maybe she can help me with math later. Emily paused, then nodded. Ryan looked like he was about to pass out from rage. This wasn't about a seat anymore. This was a battle over someone who'd chosen to stand next to me in front of everyone, and now he couldn't do anything about it. He stomped out of the office while I followed Emily back to class like it was nothing. That day, I realized two things. 1, school politics were way messier than I ever thought, and 2, Emily Carter had just put herself in my corner, and that changed everything. And if Ryan Kim wanted to keep playing dirty, I wasn't going to sit quietly anymore. After that whole scene with Emily taking the blame for the desk incident, things didn't calm down, they just got sneakier. Ryan Kim wasn't giving up, not even close. The next morning, he showed up earlier than usual, marching in with a takeout bag from Old Street Deli, that signature beef and mustard bun smell floating across the classroom like some kind of territorial signal. He walked straight over to Emily's desk and placed the bag down gently, like he was dropping off flowers, and said in this weirdly doting voice, you have a sensitive stomach. Be sure to eat before class. His smile was all kinds of fake, but what really got me was that Emily didn't even flinch. She barely looked up from her textbook, nodded slightly, and went back to reading. I didn't say a word, but I saw the way some of our classmates were watching me, like they were expecting a jealous explosion or something. But I had my own plan. On Saturday morning, I woke up early, packed up some buns from the night before, and brought them to the library where Emily and I usually studied. I handed them over casually, like it was no big deal. Eat this. Your stomach's sensitive, remember? She looked up at me, surprised, and honestly kind of dazed. You bought this? She asked. Yeah, I replied. Eat before someone sees. It's not a big deal. She clutched the oily paper wrapping like it was some rare artifact and blushed so hard I thought she might faint. I didn't mention that it was just leftovers from the night before. The point wasn't the bunit, was the gesture. And Emily? She got it. The next day, I brought her milk. You've been helping me study, I said. You should take care of yourself too. She stared at me for a beat too long before saying, that day I only took the fall for Ryan because his parents asked me to look out for him. He's reckless and still thinks the world owes him something. I never wanted to get involved like that. I didn't let her finish. Old Street buns are good, huh? I interrupted with a smile. She blinked, confused. I've actually never had them. I don't pass by that area on the way to school. I popped open the milk and said, shame. They're pretty great. She didn't respond right away, but the way her fingers lightly pressed down on the edge of my notebook when the breeze picked it up said enough. I'll bring you one tomorrow, she finally muttered. It's a thank you, not a bribe. Monday morning hit differently. Ryan and Emily still walked into class together, had that dumb proud expression like he'd just scored the game-winning touchdown. But then Emily turned away from him and walked right over to my desk, placing a neatly packed breakfast right in front of me. "Eat it before class," she said. That was all. Ryan froze mid-step. His whole body language changed. "Wait, wasn't that supposed to be for me?" he said, his voice rising. Emily furrowed her brows. "Did I say that?" He looked like someone had just slapped him. You could practically see the denial crashing against reality in his head. "So you went out early, while feeling sick, just to buy him breakfast?" he asked. She didn't answer, and Ryan turned around, shoulders tight, walking back to his seat like someone had turned off the lights inside him. I sighed and pushed the breakfast back toward her. "You should probably give this to him," I said quietly. "He clearly wants it more." Emily hesitated, then from behind us, Ryan's voice echoed, "I don't care about that cheap breakfast." But his voice cracked, and his eyes were red. Emily stood firm. "I bought it for you," she told me. I raised an eyebrow but said nothing, slowly unwrapping the bun and taking a bite. It was warm, soft, and full of flavor, but I wasn't really hungry anymore. "These are good," I said with my mouth half full. "Too bad my desk mate keeps running to the bathroom, kills my appetite." Emily's expression darkened like she'd swallowed something bitter. I slid the last bun toward her. "Eat it. You need energy for tutoring." Our relationship wasn't that close yet, not enough for breakfast sharing, but she didn't argue. She just frowned and put the bun in her desk. Behind me, Ryan was flipping through his workbook like it had personally offended him. That night, something odd happened. Ryan left school before Emily, which almost never happened. He always stuck around, shadowing her like a puppy. After class, I noticed Emily scrolling through her phone with a weird expression, and later that night, the confession wall blew up again. Didn't they say the top student wasn't dating the school hunk? Then what's this? Someone posted, attaching two photos side by side, one of me holding a breakfast bag, and another of Emily holding the exact same bag from a different angle. The filters were suspiciously generous, smoothing out our faces like a rom-com poster. The comments were worse. "How long have they been together? Are they applying to the same college? Power couple alert." One reply stood out, "They'll never be together. Emily has a childhood sweetheart. Everyone knows that." I didn't even need to check the IP, I knew it was Ryan. But he didn't expect the internet to turn on him. "Bro, your IP's showing. Aren't you the one who posted about James last week? You sound bitter. Let them live." For the next 3 days, Ryan didn't say a word to anyone. He stopped bringing breakfast. He deleted his posts. But I could feel the tension coiling tighter. Then came the bombshell post, "Let's dig up James Walker's real background." And that was when things turned nasty. The post claimed I was an illegitimate son, that my mom was a homewrecker who got kicked out of the city and dumped in our small town. It called me manipulative, saying I stole Emily with nothing but a pretty face and dirty tricks. My head spun. My vision blurred. I stood up and marched straight to Ryan's desk. "You did this, didn't you?" He laughed, eyes wide with mock innocence. "What? Mad that everyone knows now?" I didn't even think I slapped him across the face. Hard. He yelped, and chaos erupted. Students pulled us apart. Emily rushed over, but looked at Ryan first. "He hit me." Ryan shouted. "You saw that, right?" Then his voice changed, darker. "His mom's a mistress. He's just like her. Are you really gonna stay friends with someone like that?" Emily froze. Ryan pressed on, his voice loud and shaking. "You're gonna ruin your future if you keep hanging out with him. He's dragging you down on purpose. I'm the only one who actually cares about you." I looked straight into Emily's eyes, and I didn't fake anything this time. The pain was real. "So what now? I asked. She looked away. The teacher's coming. Everyone, go back to your seats. There'd been a scandal like this before in our school. A student dropped out because her family got exposed. People were still sensitive about the topic. This time, no one told me it would be okay. Nobody defended me. But for the record, me mom wasn't a mistress. She didn't even know the guy was married. It wasn't until I was 1 month old that his wife showed up screaming, calling her names, trying to take me away. After that, Mom moved us to this town to start fresh. And yeah, she cried when she said she ruined my life. But she still raised me. I remember her saying, "You're my pride, even if I'm the reason you can't go to college in the big city." And that's why I didn't back down when I heard the laughter behind me. "Guess seduction runs in the family," someone muttered. That's when I knew this wasn't just about Emily anymore. This was war. It's funny how fast reputations fall apart when you're the main character in someone else's hate campaign. The gossip that had been simmering exploded, spilling over the school walls and leaking into the streets. By Friday, a group of girls who had dropped out early were waiting for me at the school gate like they were part of some low-budget reality show. "Hey handsome, what's a big star like you doing clinging to some overachieving ice queen?" one of them sneered. "You come with us, and we'll treat you like royalty, let you spend our money, do whatever you want. Why waste your time with that grade-chasing princess?" Another girl giggled and added, "Who wants to be first to take him down? I bet he's sweet if you get past the smug face." Before I could react, a rock flew out of nowhere and slammed into the loudest girl's forehead. The laughter stopped immediately. And just like that, they turned on me. "Pretty boy, you think you're too good for us?" One of them grabbed my collar, her breath hot and bitter in my face. I tried to pull away, but I was cornered. That's when I saw her, Zoe Miller, standing at the entrance of the alley, her eyes wide with panic, frozen like she was stuck between running and saving me. I looked at her, silently begging for help. She hesitated for a beat, then turned her head. And in that second, I felt completely alone. Until I heard a voice, loud and sharp, slicing through the tension. "Let him go. I'm calling the cops." Both Zoe and I turned toward the source. It wasn't her. It was Emily. Her voice rang out again, clearer this time. I said, "Let him go." Sirens wailed in the distance, and the girls scattered like roaches. I don't even remember how I got up or when Zoe reached me and dragged me toward the nurse's office. I missed a class, and when I finally limped back into the classroom, Ryan's voice cut through the air. "Look who's back. Guess being famous means you can ditch school whenever you want." I didn't respond. I didn't even look at him. I just went straight to my seat. Emily stared at me the entire time. "I'm sorry," she whispered. I didn't know what to say to that. Sorry for watching. Sorry for being quiet. Sorry for hesitating while I got jumped by a bunch of dropouts. "You don't need to say anything," I muttered. "Let's just cancel the tutoring sessions." She blinked, visibly shaken. Zoe called me from the door and handed me a carton of warm milk. "I know that alley. I'll walk with you from now on," she said, not waiting for my reply. Someone in the classroom snorted. "Careful, Zoe. The kid's got his mother's touch." She glared at them. "Does this involve you?" My eyes drifted to Emily. Her expression was unreadable, lips tight, brows furrowed, and something about it felt off. For the rest of the day, she barely touched her pen. Before the last period, she pulled me aside and said, "We're still doing tutoring this weekend. It's our deal. Don't ignore me." I didn't reply. She caught up to me and raised her voice, "James. I'll wait for you." As I walked back in, Ryan's voice floated behind me like a mosquito buzz. "His mom's a homewrecker. Why do you still talk to him?" I stopped walking. Emily didn't say anything, not right away, and the silence stretched a little too long. So I turned off my phone all weekend and left it dead through Monday. When I entered the classroom, she was scanning the room like she was waiting for someone. I ignored her, went to my seat, and shoved my bag under my desk, but it got caught on something. I pulled it out and found a warm, grease-stained paper bag. Inside were beef and mustard buns from Old Street. I looked up, and there she was, Emily, expression unreadable, standing by her desk. I waited for you all weekend. I put the breakfast back on her desk, not saying a word. She grabbed my hand, firm but trembling. Why didn't you come? You didn't reply to my messages either. I lost my phone that day, when I got surrounded, I said. Her grip loosened. Are you blaming me? I didn't answer. My eyes flicked toward Ryan's empty seat. She followed my gaze, face darkening. You're blaming him, too. But don't take it out on me. I turned away. Then someone knocked on the classroom door. Zoe stepped in, holding a brown paper bag. James, I got you those pastries you said you liked on Saturday. I forced a smile and thanked her. Emily's expression changed the moment I sat down. So you were with her, she whispered. You didn't want my breakfast but took hers. I didn't respond. Emily was off all morning. She barely paid attention in class. At lunch, Zoe and I walked together to the cafeteria. People were definitely watching, but they didn't say anything, at least not loud enough for me to hear. High school has an unspoken rule: as long as your grades are solid, no one really messes with you. I only managed to grab one portion of the new chicken dish, but Zoe split it anyway. You take the bigger piece, she said, pushing it into my bowl. At the next table, I caught Emily staring at us, expression somewhere between blank and thunderous. Zoe scooped the smaller piece of chicken into my bowl and whispered, I like watching you eat. It makes me happy. I took a bite. It really was good. As she walked me back to class, Zoe said quietly, from now on, I'm walking with you every day. I'll keep you safe. That should have been reassuring, but when I looked up and saw Emily and Ryan standing by the door, sneering, the weight of it all hit me like a truck. Emily said something under her breath as we passed. Zoe's grades aren't even as good as mine. I lowered my head. But I didn't stop hanging out with Zoe. We shared notes, study breaks, walks after school. People started whispering that we were a couple. Ryan made sure Emily heard every rumor, every whisper. He even laughed about it to her face. A week passed like that. One day, Emily grabbed my wrist and yanked me into a quiet hallway. Her face was tight with frustration. So, you like the way she feeds you, huh? Chicken legs, pork buns, milk cartons, whatever she gives you, you eat it like you're starving. You should be with the person who saved you, right? Too bad she got to you first. I stared at her, stunned. Emily, she didn't let me finish. She took a step closer, eyes sharp but lips trembling. You shouldn't be doing this, she whispered. She was smaller than me, but in that moment, she felt larger than life. Her breath hit my face, fast and uneven. Then without warning she kissed me. First on the eyelid. Then she hesitated, grabbed my waist, and pulled me into a desperate kiss that left me breathless. It was messy and emotional and completely unplanned. And then someone shouted, "What the hell are you doing?" Emily spun around like she'd been electrocuted. Ryan stood there, stunned. His voice cracked. You can't do this to me. I thought we were going to college together. We had a plan. Emily stood her ground. We said we'd apply to the same city, Ryan. That's all. We never agreed to anything else. Ryan's face contorted. What did he do to you? Did he drug you? His mom's a mistress, and he's just like her. I stepped forward, but Emily stopped me. If you ever insult James again, we're done even as friends. Ryan's mouth opened, then closed. For the first time, he looked completely broken. Emily grabbed my hand and pulled me away. I didn't look back. And for a second, I thought maybe just maybe things were finally changing. But in high school, peace never lasts for long. After that kiss, everything changed, but not all at once. Emily and I didn't talk about it, didn't label it, didn't even bring it up. It just lingered in the air between us, humming like a power line about to spark. From that week on, she started bringing me breakfast every morning, sometimes a sandwich, sometimes fruit cut into those ridiculous flower shapes she swore weren't for me but always matched the napkin she folded with my name on it. And somehow, our tutoring sessions started feeling more like dates. She dragged me to a claw machine arcade after we finished going over calculus, insisted I try the dance machine with her, even bought a box of mint-flavored wet wipes like the ones she gave me the day she covered for Ryan. One night, she handed me a little box with blue star-shaped stickers on the outside and said, "You liked the wipes I gave you last time, right? So I got you more." I thought that was the gift until I opened the box and found a brand new phone, same brand as the one I lost, but this one had a navy blue case and looked way more expensive. I stared at her like she'd lost her mind. "What's this for?" I asked. Her ears turned red. "Your mom used to reward you when you did well on exams, right? Consider it your good luck charm before the college entrance test." I pressed the power button but didn't turn it on. I just held it against my chest and said quietly, "It's not lost, is it?" She bit her lip. "Of course not. I just wanted you to have something that felt yours again." Later, we sat on the park bench, and she held my hand in both of hers. "Let's both apply to schools in Beijing," she said softly. "I'll take care of you. After college, we'll live near a park. I'll hold your hand like this every morning." I closed my eyes. "Okay." Her lips touched mine again, like she couldn't help it, and in that quiet moment, I believed her. I believed all of it. But the universe doesn't like happy endings in senior year. The moment we got too close, the moment I let my guard down, the price came. Emily's grades took a hard, ugly dive. From top of the class to 37th in just one round of exams. When the results were posted, she stared at the score sheet in silence, not even blinking. The head teacher called her in immediately. When she came back, she forced a smile, touched my hair like I was some kind of stress ball, and said, "It's okay. We just slipped. We'll climb back up together." But people were already talking. Ryan cornered her outside the classroom. "When will you finally wake up?" he snapped. "His mom's ahay's just like her. He's dragging you down on purpose." Emily frowned. "That's enough. James's grades dropped too," Ryan said. "You think that's a coincidence? He's getting revenge on me by ruining you." She didn't say anything. He grabbed her wrist, desperation leaking into every word. "We grew up together. Don't you trust me?" And then she saw me standing at the hallway's end. Our eyes met. I didn't hide the tears on my face. Before she could speak, I turned around and walked off. I couldn't hear anything anymore. All I could feel was my heart thudding painfully in my chest. When class started, I sat at my desk and stared at the white surface, the stain from the old ink mark barely visible now. "I get it," I said quietly before the teacher came in. "You still care about Ryan." I gave my heart to the wrong person. No one replied. But she heard it. The next day, she didn't say a word to me, didn't even meet my eyes. She just stared straight ahead, furiously taking notes like it was the only thing keeping her from shattering. That night, Zoe gave me a box with a huge blue bow on it. "It's not much. Just a few notebooks," she said. I thanked her, but my mind wasn't there. Still, Emily saw the box. And she snapped. The next morning, the two girls' current top student and former number one clashed hard. First in the library, then outside the cafeteria. Voices raised, notes thrown, accusations flung like grenades. And of course, it all ended up on the confession wall. Zoe Miller and Emily Carter fighting over James Walker. This year's drama writes itself. He must be hot if two smart girls are ready to throw hands for him. Wasn't Emily with Ryan Kim? What happened there? I became a meme overnight. But I didn't care about the gossip. What broke me was what happened next. Emily's parents were invited to the school. And with Ryan leading the way like some overgrown tattletale, they finally confronted me outside the principal's office. "James, Mr. Carter said with a tight smile. "I understand you're a good kid, but this is senior year. The most important time in a student's life. Do you really think now is the time for distractions?" Ryan stood behind him, smug as hell, listing off everything my mom ever did wrong: her history with powerful men, her reputation, even implying she once tried to go after Mr. Carter. I clenched my fists so hard my nails dug into my palms. Then Emily showed up, shouting, "Dad," and stepping between us. Her father's face turned dark. "Emily, I raised you better than this. That boy's a walking scandal." Ryan added, "You want your future ruined by some mistress's son?" Her cheeks flushed, but she didn't back down. "He's not the problem. Don't make this harder than it already is." I looked at her, then at her father, and my voice cracked. "You're right. I'm the problem. I should stay away. I should rot in the shadows and not drag her down." My tears hit her school uniform. I didn't wait for her reply. I ran. I didn't see her face. I just heard her voice chasing after me, screaming at Ryan to shut up and leave us alone. That night, Emily didn't come online. Didn't text. Didn't show up the next day either. For 3 straight days, her desk sat empty. When she finally returned, there were bags under her eyes and a heaviness in her walk I'd never seen before. Then Zoe and I bumped into her at the store. She pulled me aside, voice tight. "My parents want to transfer me. Out of town." I dropped the soda in my hand. It burst on the floor, fizzling into a puddle. "But I'm not leaving," she added, wiping the bottle and handing it back to me. "They can't make me. I won't leave you behind." Her fingers brushed under my eyes. "You've been crying too much lately. I'll protect you from now on." I leaned into her arms and offered the now warm soda back like some weird peace treaty. "I bought it for you," I said. "You look tired." She didn't open it. Just held it like it meant something. Our tutoring sessions moved to my house. Every night, I stayed up late with Zoe's notes and Emily's voice ringing in my ears, trying to outrun everything. But during the second mock exam, Emily left 3 math questions blank and didn't answer a single English fill-in-the-blank. Her score 560 was the lowest she'd ever gotten. Zoe, meanwhile, crushed it again, top of the grade, flawless as always. Everyone was going over their wrong answers. Emily just stared at the rankings in silence. Ryan hovered nearby, waiting. I slipped a piece of blue candy into her hand. "It's okay. This test was tough. We'll fix it together. I'll help you." Her fingers were ice cold at first, but they slowly warmed as she gripped the candy tighter. "We're still going to Beijing," she said. "No matter what." It was wild how fast things could turn around when you decided you were done being the victim, when you stopped apologizing for existing and started owning the mess people threw you into. After that second mock exam, Emily's confidence cracked, but Ryan? Ryan became the perfect little hero again, offering her notes, showing up like some sad ex-boyfriend trying to win her back. I watched him hand her answer sheets, his voice soft, like he thought the whole world should know he still cared. "Don't give up," he told her in front of everyone. She didn't walk away, but she also didn't say no. And just like that, I found myself watching the same mistake happening all over again, like I was stuck in a loop. Except this time, I had a brand new phone, and the camera quality was top tier. I snapped a picture not of them holding hands, but of him leaning over her desk, too close, that fake pity plastered all over his face like he was auditioning for a drama club. I didn't post the photo right away. I waited 3 days, until right before the college entrance exam. Then I uploaded it to her phone with a breakup message I downloaded from some relationship blog, something classy, something vague, something that sounded just real enough. Then I blocked her. Turned off my phone. Ghosted the world. Zoe sat beside me through the whole thing. She didn't ask questions. Didn't judge. Just stayed close and made sure I kept breathing. She's been looking for you like crazy, she said quietly. Called me 4 times. I didn't answer. Instead, we walked into the police station together, handed over screenshots, digital backups, and a whole folder of cyberbullying evidence. Turns out, just because you delete a post doesn't mean it disappears. People think the internet forgets. It doesn't. Especially when the slander is aimed at someone with actual proof and motivation to hit back. Zoe was a machine pulling up usernames, timestamps, helping me document everything. She even pretended to flirt with me in comments just to bait a few of Ryan's sock puppet accounts into exposing themselves. And it worked. By the time we filed our report, we had everything. You've already paid your fee, she said with a soft smile when I thanked her. That stuck with me. She never asked for anything, never expected the spotlight. But I wasn't the same broken kid from earlier in the year. I wasn't going to hide anymore. The day the exam results dropped, no. One high practically imploded. Zoe was top of the grade, again. But the real shock. I came in just behind her, a dark horse no one saw coming. From the illegitimate son of a mistress to near-perfect scores across the board. Everyone online lost their minds. My confession wall story was everywhere reposted, screenshotted, edited into sad violin TikToks. People messaged me, saying I was an inspiration. That I proved you could rise above anything. That I was the reason they wanted to try harder. I didn't reply to any of them. I didn't pick up when Emily called, either. Dozens of times. Maybe hundreds. She kept showing up in comment sections, using alt accounts, saying she was sorry, asking where I went, saying she never meant to hurt me. But it was too late. I wasn't doing this for revenge anymore. I was doing it because I deserved to live without shame. Without people whispering about my mom. Without Ryan Kim walking around acting like he owned the narrative. And then the court notice came in. The cyberbullying lawsuit was officially accepted. Ryan was finished. I knew it the second he saw me walk into the building with our lawyer. The look in his eyes wasn't anger, it was panic. Real, pure fear. He tried to run up to me before the hearing. James. Please, you can't ruin me. I'm going to college. Don't do this. I know I messed up, but, he stammered, his voice cracking, his eyes watery. Don't use your power to crush me. Power? I laughed. The only one who tried to crush someone here was you. I didn't flinch. I didn't forgive. The trial ended with a reduced sentencia 1-year probation, since he was technically still a minor when most of it happened, but that didn't matter. What mattered was that he had to stand up in court and admit what he did. That his apology was public. That he couldn't pretend anymore. When I walked out of that courthouse, Emily was there. She looked thinner, pale, like the world had drained out of her. James, she said, her voice barely more than a breath. I haven't congratulated you yet. I nodded. I did well. Before you hurt me. Her smile faltered. Can you tell me where you're applying? I know we said Beijing, and I meant it. I really did. I didn't answer at first. She looked at me like she was still hoping for a different version of me to show up, the one who used to blush when she smiled, who would have given her the world just because she asked. I reflected, she added. I know I made mistakes. But what we had, it wasn't fake. I tilted my head, calmly. Would you fall in love with someone who called your mom a homewrecker? Her expression shattered. She tried to laugh it off, but nothing came out except this broken sound, like her soul had given up. I turned and walked away. She didn't follow. That night, Zoe and I filmed my offer letter unboxing video for social media. It blew up. Comments poured in: congrats, well deserved, king energy, survivor mindset. Somewhere deep in the replies, I saw a comment that said, isn't this the same kid who got dragged online for a whole year? Man's got the last laugh. I smiled. My mom smiled too, holding the phone with both hands while I held up the acceptance letter. You did it, she whispered, wiping her eyes. You're going to Shanghai. Yeah. I changed my mind. I didn't tell Emily. I didn't owe her that. I didn't owe anyone anymore. Especially not the girl who kissed me 1 minute and let people shame me the next. When she finally figured it out, she snapped in my DMs. You lied. We were supposed to go to Beijing. You told me. She spammed the comments section under my video. You lied again. People clapped back. Let him live. Girl, chill. Why do you care where he goes? You flopped. He thrived. Someone tagged her IP again. She was exposed again. So I blocked her. Again. Zoe messaged me later that night. Good call. It's over now, I replied. No, she wrote back. It's just beginning. When I got home from the courthouse, my mom was already waiting in the kitchen with a bowl of instant noodles and a small grin that tried too hard to be casual. She didn't say anything at first, just handed me chopsticks and nudged her phone across the table. Have you decided yet? She asked, voice light but careful, like she didn't want to poke the bruise that was still healing between us. Shanghai Jiaotong, I said after a moment, watching her face closely. Her eyes widened just a little before she caught herself and nodded. That city's got more opportunities, she murmured, but I could tell she was already making mental lists: apartment hunting, part-time jobs, where to get groceries, the fastest bus route from campus to home. My mom never said it out loud, but I knew she'd move with me if I let her. I was her whole world. That's the thing people like Ryan or Emily never understood. When you grow up with nothing but one person holding your life together, you don't play by the same rules as kids with 2 cars and college funds and families that eat dinner at the same table. When the university sent out the admission packages, the unboxing trend was still all over social media, so I filmed mine too. My mom held the phone with shaky hands while I opened the box, pulled out the official documents, and smiled like I hadn't just spent the past year dragging myself through fire. I uploaded the clip, and almost instantly, the comments flooded in. Let's go, King. Character development arc complete. From confession wall victim to university legend. And buried beneath all the celebration was one unhinged voice, breaking through the cheers like a siren. You said you'd go to Beijing. You lied to me again. Why did you betray me? Emily's meltdown was public, loud, and messy. She called me from every number she could find, left voice messages I didn't bother opening. Eventually, she blew up in the comments section, and the internet did what it does best: they turned on her. Girl, move on. Why you acting like his success belongs to you? We get it, you fumbled. One user even joked, this girl's got a PhD in victim complex. Someone traced her IP again. It was her, no doubt. After that, I blocked her on everything, again, and this time I didn't feel guilty about it. That Monday, my mom started packing. She had already found a small place near the university, a studio apartment with peeling wallpaper and a decent view of the metro line. She insisted it was temporary, that I'd move into the dorms eventually, but I knew she'd stay nearby anyway, just in case. That's what moms like mine did. They didn't ask for space. They gave everything and stood outside the door until you needed them again. I thought I was ready to close the chapter on high school completely, but then I ran into Ryan again. We weren't in court. We weren't even near school. Just 2 people walking opposite directions at a downtown crossing. He was wearing a hoodie pulled low over his face, eyes hollow like someone had pulled the plug on him. He didn't say anything. Didn't even try. Just kept walking. And for a moment, I thought about how different things might have been if he hadn't hated me so much, if he hadn't decided that Emily was his and I was just some bug to squash. But that's the thing about people like Ryan: they don't break until they realize the world doesn't owe them anything. When the fall comes, it's always louder for guys who thought they were untouchable. The first week of college was overwhelming. New buildings, new rules, professors who didn't care if you drowned. But I liked it. I liked getting lost in a crowd where no one knew my story, where no one whispered about my mom or looked at me like I didn't belong. Zoe didn't go to my school. She picked another one in the same city, but she still texted me every night. Eat dinner. Did you sleep? I'm around if you need me. One evening, she showed up outside my dorm with a container of home-cooked food. Don't let all your success go to your head, she teased. You're still a mess who doesn't eat unless someone reminds you. I laughed, let her inside, and for the first time in a long time, I felt normal again. We sat on the floor, watching random YouTube videos, laughing about dumb memes, and she said, "Remember that wet white box Emily gave you? The one with the blue star stickers?" I nodded. I saw you throw it away after class. But the next day, you had the same wipes in your backpack. You didn't hate her, James. You just needed to remember how to protect yourself. I didn't respond right away. She was right, though. For the longest time, I let people decide who I was: illegitimate son, charity case, rival, threat. But I wasn't any of those things. I was just a kid who learned the hard way that love, when built on power or pity, rots fast. On the last day of September, I got one last email from Emily. The subject line just said, "Congratulations." I didn't open it. I archived it and moved on. She'd already taken enough of my time. Let her find her own way now. I had things to build, people to take care of. Myself, for one. My mom, always. And maybe Zoe, who never once asked for anything but somehow became everything steady in my chaos. That night, we walked by the park she liked, the one with the cheap fountain and dying hedges. She reached for my hand without asking. "Hey," she whispered, "you okay?" I nodded, then glanced up at the stars, remembering all those days in school when I thought the sky was way too big for someone like me. But now, I think I'm finally big enough to carry a piece of it. "Yeah," I said, squeezing her hand back, "I'm more than okay."